Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Mackenzie and I'm a stay-at-home homeschooling mom to 4 kids. And today I want to share with you how we teach history, what we love about our favorite history curriculum, what we like to supplement with history. If you want to hear more about Story of the World, stick around. So Story of the World has been such a great curriculum for us. We really love it. We've been using it for quite some time. I've used it in co-ops, I've used it at home, and I just love how flexible the curriculum is. It's something that you can, do all the things in one lesson that is planned. If you want to have like a very involved history day, you can do everything that is in the lesson, or you can scale it back and just listen to the audios that come with Story of the World and call it good. So I do know people that just listen to the CDs. There are CDs that come with this curriculum and that's all they do. So that I would say that's like the bare minimum, or you can do all the things. If you're not new to my channel, you know that we are a very hands-on family and we like to learn using multiple different learning styles, and I feel like Story of the World does that so well. So Story of the World Ancient Times starts from the very beginning, like the first humans, all the way up to the last Roman Empire. And this is like ancient history, and this is their first one. We haven't used any of their other ones, but we have them. And when we're done with this, we will probably move on to the other one. And the way we do it is we do Story of the World one day a week. And we do history sprinkled in throughout the week as well in different ways, and I will talk about that later. But I am just going to kind of tell you how Story of the World is set up and how it's meant to be used. So the kit also comes with this book, and it also comes with audios. My audios are somewhere else because I actually just bought the MP3s for my computer because I don't have anything to play CDs with on my computer anymore. So I highly recommend getting audios. We use the audios and I highly recommend using the audios, but sometimes it's good to have the book too. So every lesson starts out with you reading the chapter or listening to the chapter on your computer. And every lesson also has these activity pages that you can print off. So this is what my kids do while they're listening. They are coloring a coloring page that has to do with the chapter that we're reading. And if you have a child that just doesn't like to color, I have a little boy, for some reason, like he went through this phase where he did not like to color at all. And so I just gave him some Play-Doh and I was like, here, just build something about what you're hearing on the audio. And so he did that, but now he's back into his coloring phase and it makes it a little bit easier. So I just have them color while they listen to their audio, and those pages, those coloring pages are provided by the Story of the World. They have activity sheets that you can do while you listen. And then after in your book, it has review questions. So then you're going to ask them some questions about what you read to them. And there's also narration exercises if you don't want to ask them specific questions. If you just want them to narrate, you could do that as well. Something that I really love about this curriculum is it has, and you don't have to do this, but it has suggestions for additional history reading. So these are all titles of other books that go along with this time period. So I really appreciate that. The additional history reading is more like advanced, I would say, more like chapter books. But then they also have corresponding literature suggestions down below that are all picture books. So every week I take a look at that list and I look and see if we have any of those. And if we don't, I will just pick one and purchase it, or I will look it up on YouTube and see if somebody has a read aloud of that. And so after we do the reading and the review questions, I will read them a picture book. And then after the picture book, something else that comes with the activity pages is it has mapping that goes with the history. So you kind of like circle where things happened and where people moved into certain areas. So my kids really appreciate the mapping. I really like that they have this incorporated. So it's like you're teaching history and geography at the same time, which is nice. So we really like the the mapping pages on here. So after the picture book, we will move into your mapping, and it just kind of tells you what to do on your map. And then it says to do the coloring page, but we just do that during our read aloud so that they are keeping their hands busy while they're listening. And then they have the project that goes along with it. So there's lots of different crafts with each chapter. It's really nice because will have multiple different crafts. Usually I won't do the project unless there's one on there where I feel like we already have all the supplies, or it's not going to make too much of a mess or take too much time. But if there is something on here that I feel like I can fit into our homeschool day, we will do that. If the projects just seem too crazy and too, like if they seem like they're going to take too long and make too much of a mess, I will just hurry and hop on Pinterest and see if I can find something that will correlate with the lesson, some activity. But like for this chapter, there are multiple different crafts. One is to make Hatshepsut's false beard. Another one is to make one of Hatshepsut's monuments. Another one is to make an Egyptian death mask. So this one involves a balloon and newspaper, and you have to get like a paste out of glue. So I would say the activities on here you have to prep ahead of time. You have to look at all of different supplies that you're going to need, because most of these things are not going to be just lying around your house. Some of them do, and that's usually when I do them. That's probably about every other lesson, but a lot of the lessons are pretty extensive projects. But then the last one on here, it just says be an archaeologist. And for the activity, it says, close off one of the rooms and put treasures in there. And that's like King Tut's tomb. And then they have to go discover the tomb, and they have to draw the artifacts that they found before they can touch it. And so I like that it teaches you how to be an archaeologist. Sorry, I'm getting over this cold. It's been a rough last few weeks with illness at our house and trying to not be coughing all the time. That's why my voice sounds kind of hoarse today. Overall, this has been a really great curriculum. My kids really look forward to this every week. Even if we just did the audio while they colored, they would be happy with it. But something that I wish was in this curriculum is copy work. I would like for them to copy something from the chapter, but they don't have it. And so what I did is I went ahead and asked for permission from the Well-Trained Mind to use passages from their chapters and make it available to people on Teachers Pay Teachers. So I do have copy work associated with each chapter. I'm still working on it. I am only about halfway through all the chapters making copy work. I have copy work for grades 1 through 3 and copy work for grades 4 through 6. So I have easier copy work and a little bit harder copy work for each chapter. So if that's something that you would like to go along with your Story of the World studies, I have that in Teachers Pay Teachers. So you should go check that out if that's something that you're interested in. If you have any other questions about Story of the World, go ahead and leave them down below. We really love it. It's something that I see us using from here on out for a long time. But it is not our only history curriculum. We are also using readings from Ambleside, which they have a lot of really great history books. So we do use Ambleside history readings, but then I really love the Well-Educated Hearts history rotation. Every month they have a different country that you can study and a different history or a different time period from American history that you can study. And so we go along with the Well-Educated Hearts rotation, and it has been so fun. And so I would say we do that about 2 days a week. We do Well-Educated Heart rotation, and then 1 day a week we do Story of the World. And so between all of that, we're getting a lot of different history, a lot of different time periods. But I feel like in the younger years, it's really just the stories that matter, and it's a really hard concept to kind of put time into like a linear timeline of where everything goes at a young age. I remember like not having a clue, what time period people were talking about when I was really young. A lot of kids just aren't developmentally there to really like put in a place where like when things happened. I do think that the stories are what really matters, and then when they get older, it's a lot easier for them to piece in like when each event happened in history. So we are just big fans of Story of the World. I really appreciate you sticking around and watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up for me and subscribe, and I'll see you here again.